Guys, holy shit. It was so good and I'm so excited and it felt like a home. The things that we could do with that space, like there was so much space. We could have guests over, we could have people come stay with us. Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of my moving series. If you are new here, I am currently looking for a new 1-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles, California. I'm moving from a small studio, 450 square feet, into a 1-bedroom with my boyfriend. This is part 2 of the series. In part 1, we toured 3 different units, one of which was a contender, 2 of which were complete flops. So if you didn't see part 1, definitely go watch that before this video. We're starting off part 2 of the series here because I'm about to go tour the condo that we're looking at. So this is like a big moment because this is a big contender for us, but I'm freaking out a little and I'll explain why in a second. So yeah, quick recap. This condo is a huge contender for us because it's technically classified as a 1-bedroom, but it has sort of a den or spare bedroom that we thought could be really great for an office, and that's a huge selling point for us. It also seems like it's in a pretty nice complex, and it is by far the most square footage that we're looking at. I think it's like 950 square feet or something, which is 200 square feet bigger than our other contenders. So lots of space, second room, there's lots of pros. So we're really excited and we think it might be like the one for us, not to be dramatic, but the one for us. Unfortunately, my boyfriend can't come on this tour with me, so it's just gonna be me. However, I just noticed, literally it's maybe half an hour before the tour is supposed to start, that the listing that we originally found and contacted has disappeared from the internet, which has me slightly concerned that somehow it's sold or something, even though we had this tour scheduled, and I feel like that would be fucking weird. And then I'm like worried that I missed a call from them or something. Like I'm kind of stressing that this apartment has been taken because it was at a really good price point for what it was offering in the area that we're in. Like it was $29.75 for basically a 2-bedroom, which is kind of unheard of. So I'm a little stressed about that. So now I can't find the contact information, can't see the original listing. There is still one other listing of the property that I can find, but it's mostly not showing up on the internet. I also can't remember exactly what time I was supposed to be there. I have 3 o'clock written down, but something in my brain is saying it's 3:30. I'm just gonna err on the side of caution, show up at 3 o'clock at the apartment and hope for the best, that someone's there, that I still get to tour the space, because holy shit, I don't know, I'm confused. I'm a little worried and I'm a little confused. I am just shocked by how competitive this market is proving to be. Maybe I should have seen this going in, but like this is not the first time where something has been swiped up a lot faster than we could have anticipated or taken from under our nose. I'm just a little nervous because we had so much hope in this space and this was the one that we were really holding out for, and it's just gonna be really, really sad if it was somehow already taken or the listing was phony, or I don't even know. Okay, anyway, we're gonna head down. I'm gonna walk over to the apartment and hopefully we'll get a tour in. I won't lie, I'm stressing hard. Definitely gonna treat myself to a matcha or something, either on my way there or on my way back, because I fucking deserve it. This shit is hard. Being an adult is hard. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Sorry about the like kind of stressful first update, but this is what you come for, right? The chaos. Okay. Okay, so I was able to contact somebody. The tour is actually at 3:30. I'm now walking to get coffee for like 2 seconds, because by the time I get it, it's gonna be time to walk back. Guys, holy shit. That condo was insane. I was low-key worried that they thought we were trying to buy, because most of the condos in that building are like for sale. But then I got there, the real estate agent gave me a sheet with all the apartment details, and it was the unit that I saw online, which thank fucking God, because I was getting a little bit nervous when it was deleted off the internet. We got into the building. Immediately the building was nice, it was airy, it seemed well kept, immediately felt comfortable, which was a huge fucking pro, because if you guys saw part 1 and you heard me talk about some of the disturbing apartment apartment complexes that we went into. Even our favorite unit felt like the fucking Shining. Like it was not a vibe, but this felt like a kind of like a beachy hotel. It still felt old. Like I think this building is from the 70s, but it wasn't so glaring. Like clearly they've been updating this place. Then the actual unit. We need to fucking talk about this. Holy shit. It definitely was nicer, even nicer than it looked online. There was just so many fucking pros. And don't get me wrong, not perfect. There are some things that I would do differently in terms of like the aesthetics of the place, but like for the price, the amount of fucking space that was in this apartment was unmatched, night and day from what we've been looking at so far. And I also noticed, I was like looking more online, that they actually dropped the price of this apartment from $3,400 down to its current price, which is $2,975. So that makes a lot more sense because realistically, I would expect this apartment to be over $3,000. Okay, let's talk about it. So starting off with the kitchen, strong start, okay? Strong fucking start. Appliances were gorgeous, like stainless steel, 5-burner, non-gas stove, which is something we really wanted. Really nice modern refrigerator, just like wins after wins. Loved the tile backsplash. I loved the lighting fixtures in this apartment. They were really cool. And it felt very homey. I also thought this cool like glazed cabinet was really cool and like a random fun detail of this kitchen. Then we get into the living room, which was a pretty nice space, pretty spacious, had a gas fireplace that does work, which is really cool. A fireplace is something that is just a fun element. It feels very New York to me. Like when I think of Los Angeles apartments, I'm not thinking fireplace, but again, it gives it that little homey feel. And that would be so fun, like around Christmas time, have a little fireplace to hang stockings on. Oh my God. A lot of this apartment was carpeted, which obviously we knew. My boyfriend loves carpet. I think he's fucking crazy for that. I would prefer hardwoods for sure, but it's not like a deal breaker. Carpet was a little dirty, but I'm hoping they would clean that, or worst case scenario, we could hire somebody to clean that. Now we get to one of the wow factors of the apartment, okay? This fucking balcony was massive. It was so long. I was shook as hell. It had 2 doors, one from the main living space and one from the office. So that was really cool. It kind of connected those spaces. And obviously since there was this giant balcony with, you know, floor to ceiling doors, there was pretty good natural light in the space. So it was getting huge points for all of these areas. Now we get into the bedroom. I love these like glass French doors that go from the living area to the bedroom. It just feels so fresh, so Europe. To me, the highlight of this bedroom is definitely these closets. There was 2 massive closets with built-in storage. This would be so fucking good for me and my boyfriend. Then there was a dining area by the kitchen, so we could put a little dining table there. Again, this unit's size and the number of spaces it has just feels night and day from what we've been looking at. And this is the first one where I've gone in and been like, oh my God, this feels like a whole ass home. Like this has got rooms, this has got like areas. I would be so fucking excited to entertain here and to have people over, and that's something that just like makes me so happy. Okay, now I get to the bathroom. This was the part of the unit that looked the worst to me on the online listing, but honestly it was fine. Like it's very clearly not super updated. The style is, I'm guessing this is 70s style. I don't know. It's something like the pink, it's a choice. The shower was actually a lot nicer than it looked online. Yes, it's a tub shower, which I don't love, but the actual like walls of the shower and stuff seemed updated. So no huge beef with the bathroom. It ended up not being as much of a downside as I thought it would be. It was fine. Then there is the office room, which was the #1 thing we were most excited about in this apartment. And it was honestly a pretty good size. There was storage in there. I could totally see fitting me and my boyfriend's desks comfortably and giving us each our own little area. Obsessed. And like I said, there's a door to the balcony from the office as well, which is so fucking nice. Then there was like this random storage in the hallway, just like glass mirrored storage, which is nice. And yeah, like I said, unit is $2,975. There is laundry in the building, which thank fucking God, that is a need, not a want. There's a pool, but it was in the middle of being redone, so I didn't really get to see what it's actually going to look like, but it'll be nice that it'll be new, like it'll be redone. And there's going to be, I think, a jacuzzi. They said there was saunas, which is nice. There was no fitness room, but all of the apartments we've seen are pretty lacking in that area. Either they don't have one or they have one and it fucking sucks. So it's not a big deal. I think I've kind of accepted at this point that a gym membership is in my future. Comes with 2 parking spaces, which is really nice, and they each have their own exit, so we won't have to worry about the whole tandem parking that some apartments have. Yeah, I'm struggling to find anything negative to say about it. I'm like shocked. So I had to go to this tour by myself because my boyfriend's working, but there was another couple there while we were touring also looking at the space, and they asked for 2 applications. The guy who gave us the tour had applications on hand. It's paper ass applications that we have to fill out and drop off at an office all the way in fucking Burbank, which is far. So this other couple that was touring with me took applications. I wanted to take applications because the unit was incredible and I knew my boyfriend would love it, but he had to see the apartment in order for me to take an application for him. So luckily FaceTiming counted, so I was able to FaceTime him. I picked up 2 applications for us. He is going to go see the unit on Thursday so that he'll see it before we move into it, obviously, but I'm sure he's gonna fucking love it. So now like the clock is ticking for us to apply. It's a first come first serve application, and he said he's giving a lot of tours in the next few days, so time is kind of the essence. I'm really hoping that we don't get beat out for it. The only way I could really foresee us getting beaten out is if this couple that also toured with us somehow drops off their application tonight and beats us to it. Really hoping that doesn't happen, but they seem to really like the unit as well, so I don't know, but I really fucking hope that we can get it because it was so good and I'm so excited and it felt like a home. And the things that we could do with that space, like there was so much space. We could have guests over, we could have people come stay with us, we could host like for groups of friends and get a big couch. But yeah, holy fuck. I'll update you guys when we're like submitting the application or once we've submitted the application. I don't know. I really fucking hope we get it. Yeah. Okay, bye. All right, guys, let's spill some freaking tea. So last time we talked, I told you guys about the condo that we absolutely fell in love with and how we were basically rushing to put together our applications in order to apply for this condo. We found our freaking dream apartment. So the next day, my boyfriend and I basically hustled our butts off to get these applications done. Like I told you guys, they were paper applications. We had to submit a cash deposit and we had to drive like 40 minutes away to drop off these paper applications. And in my opinion, this should not be a thing. Like the fact that there are apartment complexes that have not caught on with doing everything online, I find it honestly disrespectful to people's time to make people fill out a paper application and drive cash to an office. I don't know. Personally, I think that that's stupid, but we were so in love with the condo that we were so willing to do it. So the day after I did the tour, less than 24 hours later, it was like 2 p.m. the following day, we show up to this office with our paper applications in hand. We even went to the fucking library to print copies of our ID because we don't have a printer. We went through this whole thing and we get there, walk up to the desk, we say, hi, this is our applications for, you know, insert the address of the apartment. And the guy just looks at us and he says, oh, well, someone was already approved for that this morning. And like, I mean, our hearts just sank. We went through all of this effort to get these applications in ASAP. In my mind, there's 2 things that could have happened here. When I talked about our tour, I mentioned the fact that there was another couple on the tour with me. They also took applications, so there's a possibility that they just were all the more obsessed with the place and hustled to get the applications in the same day as the tour. That was not really in the cards for us because my boyfriend was working, so it wouldn't have been possible. I thought the next day was still pretty fast, but I guess not fast enough. The other possibility, which would suck even more, I mentioned on the day that I went to tour the condo that morning I noticed the condo was no longer listed on apartments.com and other rental websites. I feel like there's a possibility that someone had actually already gotten their application in and had already swiped up the apartment, which is why it was taken off online, and the tour guide or whatever just wasn't up to speed, and therefore we still saw the apartment. That would suck even more if it wasn't even a possibility from the jump and someone had already grabbed it and that's why it had been removed from the internet. I would hope that wouldn't happen, but again, this company doesn't seem to be the most on top of their shit in terms of modern communication, so maybe that guy just didn't hear that the apartment had been taken. Honestly, guys, the apartments here get swiped up so freaking fast, and I really was not expecting to have to deal with this competitive of a apartment search. Like, I want to give you my money. I want to pay to live here. Why is it so fucking hard? Anyway, so that was a wash. We also applied to the very first apartment we toured, which was the 1-bedroom apartment with the balcony, the huge closet, the like great view, the barn door bathroom. It was the first one we toured. We also applied to that 1-bedroom apartment. That was the only other like serious contender that we saw. We did really like that space and we got beat out for that space as well. So not going great. We've applied to 2 apartments out of 4 and we lost out on both of them. So we're back to the search. I'll keep you guys in the loop of the next apartments that we tour. 4 down, many more to go, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, we've absolutely learned that if we like a space, we need to act instantly. There is no thinking about it. There is no taking our time filling out the application. Like, we've caught on to how competitive the vibe is now, and we're ready to fucking go. Like, we're ready to fight for the next space that we love. So I'll talk to you soon after I tour another space. All right, bye. Hi. Welcome back. We have more tours to talk about, and I have a nice chai latte. I have 2 tours to update you guys on that we went on recently. Let me pull up the videos and we'll talk about them. The first tour was, I'm gonna call it the catfish of this episode. I felt bamboozled, okay? We were looking at it online and this shit looked like a castle. It literally looked like a European villa. It was grand. It was impressive. Me and my boyfriend were standing outside of the doors and we were saying to each other, like, we would be so excited to have friends over here because it's such a cool and impressive building. Like, you drive up to it, you walk up to it and you're like, holy shit, like, what is this European villa doing in the middle of this neighborhood? So we were really excited when we arrived. I was literally like jumping up and down. We called the number for like the office. I'm like, you know, I'm here for a tour. It was scheduled, whatever. Someone comes out to get us, brings us into the office. Super nice. They offered us water. They didn't know we were coming, which was kind of like red flag number 1. They were like, who did you schedule your tour with? What are you looking for? They didn't have any of our information, even though this was a scheduled tour that we were coming for. So that was a little bit weird. So they tell us, you know, we have 2 units we're gonna show you. We're like, wow, okay. Our budget was like $3,000. So they were showing us, I think, a unit that was $28.95, $29.95. This man, this tour guide, takes us and walks us across the street away from the castle villa, gorgeous building with all the amenities to this like normal looking, kind of like janky little apartment building. Don't get me wrong, it was still nice, but because he walked us across the street from this literal castle to this regular ass unimpressive apartment building that didn't even have, you know, a common area, it didn't have anything. It was literally just units. It was like the ultimate catfish. Like, we thought we would be living in this big extravagant building that was advertised online and that we showed up to. But instead they said, you know, we have several buildings, whatever. So we were looking at these units that were not in the main building. All that context being said, we go into the units. These units were very, very nicely renovated. They were extremely modern. There was laundry in unit, which we had not seen. Appliances were super modern and gorgeous, but these units were frickin' tiny. One of them had a kitchen that was more like a square in the corner of the room that felt a little bit more open, but like the kitchen and the living room were the same little square. There was not much room to play with there at all in terms of like a layout. There also wasn't like a ton of windows. There were like these 2 small windows and these were on the first floor. So there was not a ton of natural light coming into this space. So it felt like a modern shoebox is the best way I can put it. Like, all the bells and whistles were there. Everything was extremely renovated, clean, modern, which again is something that we have not seen. And I personally was like a big fan of that. Like, you know, this gorgeous fridge with like a water dispenser, which is something I've dreamed of. These units were like 600 square feet. We're living in a 450 square feet studio. Like, it was not much more space than what we have now. So even though everything was gorgeous, good storage, like everything was good, but just how small and congested it felt. Like, the videos honestly don't make it look so bad because I was using like the 0.5 wide angle on my phone, but trust me when I say that these rooms felt tiny. And even more so for me, I don't have as much of an issue with the size, but the fact that it was not getting a lot of natural light, which is a huge thing for me. A small space can feel fun and like full of light and energy if there is big windows, if there's like some grand source of natural light or it has some charm. But this really just felt like a tiny box that was renovated to the nines and had no life in it. is the best way I could describe it. The lack of like a complex or like a cool building also just really took it down some notches, especially when we had thought that the biggest perk of this apartment was going to be amenities and like apartment complex vibe. That's why the like smaller square footage wasn't as big of a deal. I will say they do give you access to like the main castle type building if you live in these small units, which is nice. You know, you can go across the street and use their rooftop lounge, which was absolutely gorgeous. You can use their gym, which was the nicest apartment gym we've seen so far by far. So that was like a nice perk, but it didn't really feel like it was ours. It just felt like something we could walk to go use because it wasn't even in our building. Our building wasn't connected to it. So it was just a whole lot of disappointment walking back from that tour, having had such excitement and high expectations when we first got there. It just felt very congested, very suffocating, and not like somewhere I would be excited to go home to. This apartment was absolutely like a turning point and a lesson for us that amount of square feet and size of the actual apartment is way bigger of a factor than we really thought it was. We set a minimum square footage of 750 square feet after seeing these apartments, and we also decided we really want to look for a 2-bedroom. This is something that kind of gradually happened, but I think that these little shoebox apartments were part of the deal breaker. The more and more apartments we toured, the more we realized that like we were being very underwhelmed by the 1-bedrooms we were looking at in comparison to the 2-bed that we saw in terms of what we think could realistically work for us. And especially for my boyfriend, having an office is a bigger and bigger priority. And it should be for me too, because like I have a desk, I work from home sometimes. 2nd bedroom has pretty much taken the cake for what we're looking for at this point, even though it's a lot harder to find in this neighborhood near our budget. But most of the 2-bedrooms in this neighborhood are 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, like going up. It's very hard to find something around 3K. So we did add a little bit of flexibility to our budget for sure, but not trying to go too crazy. Still want to keep it within a couple $100s of our budget. So we did tour a 2-bedroom apartment. This one was $31.95. So definitely over our budget, but honestly on the cheaper side in terms of 2 bedrooms in this neighborhood. Let's talk about this one. They were doing painting when we toured this apartment, so the videos are a little bit janky, and it's not the easiest to see the space, but I feel like you get the point. This was a 2-bedroom, but it was on the smaller side for a 2-bedroom. I think it was 865 square feet. Walking into the apartment, the main room was nice. I will say the living room area felt pretty small, and the fact that there was really only one usable wall, either for a couch or a TV, I feel like really messed with the flow of the room. Like I couldn't picture how we could lay it out to actually work for us, because it just felt so congested with the kitchen. The kitchen itself was really nice in terms of the appliances. However, it was super congested. Again, it was like this alley kitchen, which I really don't love. We have one now, but it feels honestly bigger than this. This was smaller than what we currently have. The main perk here though was the appliances were super freaking nice. Like gorgeous oven, gorgeous fridge. They had a balcony, but I found this balcony honestly a bit depressing because it just faces onto another building. There was lots of good storage in this unit. You know, they had random like little storage towers, random shelves. Then we have the 2 bedrooms. Again, look out onto another building, which I did not love. Lighting in these rooms was, you know, okay. The bedrooms were small, but fine. We have the bathrooms. The bathrooms for me were the point of the apartment that I disliked the most. They just did not feel modern at all. They felt very dated, and I hate this like white tile. There's a lot of, I guess it's like 70s style buildings in this neighborhood that just have not been renovated that have bathrooms like this. Our bathroom is kind of like that. It is painful. It is absolutely painful. The place overall felt still a little bit small. Another huge red flag of the apartment is the laundry situation. They only had 1 washer and 1 dryer for the entire building, and there's 8 units. I feel like that's pretty tragic. I think it was Coin Laundry too. It's kind of a janky laundry room, which I find to be a pretty bad detriment because 1 washer, 1 dryer for 8 units, it's gonna be be a pain in the ass. This apartment, I will say, like at first glance, it seemed to have a lot of things that we wanted it to have, but both of us left the tour just kind of feeling like, eh. Like neither of us were excited about the unit. Neither of us were like jumping up and down to apply. We kind of considered applying. We were like, it's a 2-bedroom. We could get it. We could afford it. Like the location of it's pretty good. But again, it was just like in a random building, no complex vibe, no real amenities or perks. And we were just really kind of underwhelmed. It was nice, but it had no like exciting or special features. There was nothing in it that made us want to move. We basically realized that if we got approved for this apartment and we moved there, we wouldn't be excited that we were moving there. Like we wouldn't be happy if we got approved. That's the ultimate red flag, I feel like. Even though there's nothing aggressively wrong with it, we just didn't have that excitement. And yeah, I just feel like we would have moved there and been a little bit miserable. Like it felt like honestly a bit of a downgrade from where we are now. Like we have such a nice apartment complex. We have a gym, we have a pool. We'd be moving to this unit that faces onto another building that has absolutely none of that and doesn't even have that much space. This one is another no. Surprise, surprise. For it to be over budget and still not wowing us in any way, it was just a no-brainer that it was not the right fit. So this has been 6 apartments that we've toured so far, and at this point in the journey, we were getting very discouraged. I honestly was starting to think that it would be impossible to find something that we loved, that was close enough to our price range, that gave us that wow moment that we've really been craving and missing from so many of these units. Like the apartments that we've loved, they had that wow factor. The ones that we've applied to so far, they had these like special elements to them that just like made you want to move in, you know? And that's the feeling that we've really been missing in these recent tours, as well as just some square footage. Like these small ass units are not doing it. One of the main reasons that we are moving is for more space. So we're not gonna move into something that still feels tiny. With all of that in mind, you know, things were feeling grim. I decided to book us another tour for the next morning after this last apartment that we talked about that was disappointing. I was just like looking online, desperate to like find something that would work for us. And I came across this one listing that I had seen come up in my searches before, but had never really given much consideration because it's over our budget. They had a 2-bedroom, but it was $33.95, which previously I thought was just out of reach. But at this point, I was feeling so frustrated that we were lacking that wow factor that I was willing to entertain it. I even said like, I'll cover the price difference. I want to look at this place. Like I just want to give it a shot. I want to see if it can give us that wow factor feeling. If we love it, I think it could be worth shelling out a little bit extra money to actually be excited about where we're moving to. So I booked us a tour for the next morning and we toured it and we loved it. And that's all I'm gonna say because I want to save the details of that tour for part 3 of the series. So if you want to hear about the apartment that we loved, stay tuned. Okay, my camera died, so sorry if it looks a little bit different, but I'm gonna wrap up this part of the series here. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Please let me know in the comments if you are. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming along this moving journey with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.